One night after the WWE Backlash pay-per-view, Monday Night Raw is steamrolling into its Money in the Bank build with two qualifying matches for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match and one qualifying match for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And of course, this is Joel Perez talking about Monday Night Raw for the date of May 7th, 2018. We were live here tonight from Long Island, New York. It was a lively crowd here tonight, and this show, just to give you my initial thoughts, it was not bad. It was not bad, and I'm giving you that rating for one of two reasons, or two reasons here on the Monday Night Raw review. And one of those reasons is because out of all the Monday Night Raws coming out of WrestleMania, this show had direction. Where everything was mixed up before because you had a superstar shakeup and the Greatest Royal Rumble and the Backlash pay-per-view 1 week after, and WrestleMania had just happened before, and everything was crazy, and you were trying to have all these debuts and call-ups, and you're trying to get everything in order. This was the first Monday Night Raw that actually had direction, and it felt a lot more streamlined, and it allowed the show to feel a lot more organized, where in the weeks prior it just felt like a big cluster. You were worried about this superstar shakeup. The week after that was right in between the superstar shakeup and the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The week after that, you were building towards the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which really didn't tie in directly into storyline. So you're half building towards that. You're half continuing storyline that isn't even there for the most part. And then the week after that, you're going into Backlash, which is a pay-per-view which WWE made it very clear on TV, which was irrelevant and came across as irrelevant last night. Of course, the review for that is up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel right now. Make sure to go check that out. Backlash 2018. But of course, continuing on here, the second reason that Monday Night Raw felt better here tonight is because it was full of matches. It was full of matches. And Monday Night Raw, the sad state of affair is that Monday Night Raw needs to be carried by matches on the show. It needs to be carried by the wrestling, because WWE isn't quite up to snuff ever with their storyline, and it came across here tonight that the wrestling is what makes these shows better. Probably the best Monday Night Raw of 2018 in general was if that even was in 2018, but which I believe it was. Yeah, it was a week before the Elimination Chamber, was the Monday Night Raw with the big 7-man gauntlet match where Seth Rollins just went crazy. That was full of wrestling. That was probably the best Monday Night Raw of 2018 so far. Here tonight, this Monday Night Raw is the best Monday Night Raw coming out of the Superstar Shakeup, or not the Superstar Shakeup, the WrestleMania 34 pay-per-view, because, it was quite frankly full of wrestling. It felt more direct and streamlined than all the other shows we've been seeing. We saw matches here tonight: Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens, a triple threat match, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, and it's slipping my name, Sami Zayn. We saw Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, and Ruby Riott, who you can argue are three of the best women's performers, not just on Monday Night Raw, but on Smackdown and NXT as well. These women are fantastic. And we saw some good matches here tonight. And, WWE, they made their mistakes like they always do. Seeing Bobby Roode versus slips my mind. Bobby Roode versus Elias for a third week in a row. That's not, quite frankly, what I want to see. It's not. It's not. And that's just one of the many mistakes they made here tonight. But then again, it ended up being a decent matchup nonetheless. Chad Gable versus Jinder Mahal, again, for the second week in a row. Ended up being a decent matchup nonetheless. Because of Chad Gable's in-ring ability, of course. But ended up being a decent matchup. And, of course, one thing that completely just shined here tonight on Monday Night Raw was the fact that we saw Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, and these guys continued to develop as an absolutely fantastic tag team as well. So, there was a lot of good things on Monday Night Raw here tonight, but then again, there was a lot of bad things. One of the main things that I liked about the show is the way that they're treating this Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They're building this up as something big. It feels like one of the big five. Usually it's just Mania, the Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam, of course. But this year it really feels like this is a big pay-per-view. They're presenting it as such. And I feel like if WWE would have kept the pay-per-view schedule as is with single branded pay-per-views and SmackDown gets their own shows and Raw gets their own shows, but Money in the Bank was a dual branded pay-per-view, it would have felt a lot better that way and your pay-per-view schedule would have been a lot better off. But WWE didn't decide to do that. Either way, Money in the Bank is coming across as a very, very interesting pay-per-view, and WWE's presenting it as such, and I like that. Everybody's talking. I got to get that Money in the Bank briefcase. That's what I want to do. Guys like Zack Ryder, Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, they're all focusing. Baron Corbin, another one. They're all focusing on that Money in the Bank briefcase, and they might not be in the highest position on Monday Night Raw, but they want to qualify. And I like the fact that there's qualifying matches. You got to vie for a spot like that. And that's exactly what they're doing. So that was good here tonight. I'll give it to the WWE. It made Raw feel better. It makes the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that you're building to feel more important. The only concern I have is what if they're throwing these matches out there too quick? Are they going to throw these qualifying matches two apiece each and every single week? I mean, you only got 4 entries on Monday Night Raw. You're really going to throw all your qualifying matches out there? I'm not sure about that. I think these qualifying matches could stretch out for 2 weeks more at most, but I'm not sure how WWE is going to play that out. Either way, very, very good stuff here tonight on Monday Night Raw. For some of it, again, carried by the wrestling, but there was that usual corniness, there was that usual garbage, and most of that came with a terrible Bobby Lashley segment. We will talk about that. But of course, before we do go into talking about all that stuff right here on your Monday Night Raw review, I, of course, just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all of the content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And the reason I say that is because there is so much other content to go check out on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Of course, your Monday Night Raw and SmackDown reviews each and every single week. They were uploaded for last week. If you missed those shows, make sure to go check it out. Monday Night Raw reviews, which you're watching right now, SmackDown Live review will be up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel tomorrow. Like I mentioned before, the Backlash pay-per-view review is up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. You cannot miss it. Make sure to go check it out. And of course, if you want to see my mindset going into the Backlash pay-per-view, preview and predictions are up on the channel right now. Make sure to go check that out. Of course, main thing I want to tell you guys is to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling channel. If you haven't subscribed, I do not know what you are waiting for. Make sure to click on that subscribe button. Don't just click it. Smash that subscribe button. Don't just smash it. Hit that subscribe button with the steel chair. Put that subscribe button through the table. That's how hard you're going to smash it. But what if the subscribe button is the table? You never know. Just make sure to click on that subscribe button. But that is besides the point. Of course, make sure to click on that notification bell as well to get the notifications straight to your mobile device. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy what you're hearing here. Dislike if you don't. I really don't care. I just like to see the feedback. Make sure to comment. Make sure to enlighten in the enlightenment box down below if you have any enlightenments. Make sure to tell me, who do you think is going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match? Who do you think is going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match? Say it all. It's an exciting time of the year. June 17th, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Cannot wait. I mean, between the Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank, that's really a competition. What's my favorite pay-per-view? I really can't decide. It's 50-50. It's a tie. So, I don't know. What pay-per-view do you guys like better? I mean, it's usually a fight between Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank. Anything else? Tell me in the comment section below. Just more stuff you can leave in the comment section below. Because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into the Raw review here tonight, and we started off with Kurt Angle and the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Here it is.
Did I ever tell you about the time when I was a kid and all the boys in my neighborhood decided they were going to build a tree house? I'd listen to them saw boards, hammer nails, and paint the whole thing, and not one time did they ever ask me for help. And when they got done, I had to listen to them talk about their stupid little handshake so you could climb up the rope ladder into their treehouse. So you know what I did? You climbed up the ladder and destroyed the treehouse? Even better, I waited for every one of them to get in the treehouse, and I knocked the whole damn tree down. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. You've been on a roll lately. I mean, you won the tag team titles at WrestleMania. You won the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and last night, you won again at Backlash. If anyone deserves a shot at Money in the Bank, it's you.
If anyone deserves to be in that ladder match, it's me. Look, I've only been on Raw a few weeks, and even though you didn't want me here, Kurt, you can't deny that I am Raw's MVP. Oh yeah, I anchor the highest rated segments. I have arenas all over the world chanting my name. And more importantly, I am a team player. I respect the rules, unlike Braun Strowman. Last night at Backlash, the wrong man was pinned. And that goes against the WWE rulebook. Last night's decision should be reversed, which means Sammy and I should be declared the winners, which means Braun Strowman was on the losing team, which means Braun Strowman's not a roll. I'm on a roll. I deserve to be in that Money in the Bank ladder match, and I shouldn't have to qualify for it. I deserve to be in it for everything I've been through these last few months. And Braun, you know what Braun Strowman deserves? The only thing he deserves is to be sent to a giant corner in timeout so that he can reflect on how he's been a very, very bad monster. Bad monster!
That's hilarious.
Listen, Kevin, I can't just put you in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But before I was rudely interrupted by you, I was about to tell Braun that he will have a qualifying match for Money in the Bank.
He doesn't deserve.
Oh!
I deserve.
The only thing you deserve is to get these hands.
No. I'm not interested in your hands. I'm not interested in your stupid catchphrase. I'm not interested in your childhood sob stories. What I am interested in, Kurt, is you treating me fairly. So here's what's going to happen, Kurt. Let me tell you, you're going to make a decision. And it should be a smart decision. And that decision should keep in mind the fact that you need this job. That decision should keep in mind the fact that Stephanie McMahon is watching. And that decision should be that you are going to announce that the very first Raw superstar to enter the Money in the Bank ladder match is Kevin Owens.
All right. I'm glad you reminded me that Stephanie McMahon was watching. But I've decided that I'm going to put Braun Strowman in a qualifying match. And you know what? Ironically, his opponent is going to be you. Good luck, KO!
Now we're talking.
So that was the opening segment of Monday Night Raw here tonight. Nothing special. Nothing special whatsoever. But when we got back from the commercial break, of course, it was Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. I didn't expect much from this matchup. It actually delivered quite well. They actually had some decent chemistry, did Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. It was an alright matchup. The only thing I can't stand about this matchup is, one, that repeated spot that we've seen like for 4 weeks straight now, where Braun Strowman just completely runs over Kevin Owens like a football player. It looks awesome. But, I mean, third, fourth week in a row, I'd rather see Braun Strowman hit that drop kick. He just did the tackle like 50 different times. I think the drop kick looks definitely more impressive, but that's besides the point. Only other thing is the power slam. You got to have a better transition into that power slam. Braun Strowman just beats them up and then picks them up, power slam. Why not have a cool transition into that power slam? Maybe Owens runs into it or something like that. Or give Strowman a new finisher. A power slam, not really the most effective thing. Either way, clearly Braun Strowman came out victorious in this matchup. I mean, interesting stuff. Braun Strowman in a ladder match. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane did pretty well in NXT, so I don't expect anything awful here from Braun Strowman in a ladder match. This is going to be interesting to see how that is played out. Definitely going to be an interesting story inside a Money in the Bank match. Braun Strowman. But I like the choice. I don't think nor Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens were going to win any of their qualifying matches. They didn't need to. But it was a decent way to start Monday Night Raw. A decent matchup overall. Nothing that you're going to be blowing your brains out about. Either way, back from the break, Michael Cole sends us backstage to Mike Rome and Roman Reigns. Rome says Reigns handles his business against Samoa Joe at Backlash and asks about his mindset going into tonight's Money in the Bank qualifier. Reigns says he's championship material, but WWE doesn't agree with this, and he's tired of being screwed over. Or really, WWE doesn't agree with that? I think they agree with that a little bit too much, Reigns. Either way, Reigns says he can't control backstage politics, but he's in control when he goes in the ring, and that's where he silences his haters. Yeah, sure. Reigns says he's made a career out of silencing the hate. Reigns goes on and says he wouldn't want to be Sami Zayn or Finn Balor tonight because he's pissed off. He's going to go on to Money in the Bank, stay in control of his destiny, and win the WWE Universal Championship. That is his mindset. Thankfully, that was not the case. I was very, very scared that that would be the case. Either way, Cole leads us backstage to videos of Bayley and Breezango commenting on Money in the Bank. We see Goldust with Kurt Angle. Goldust wants a chance to qualify for Money in the Bank. It's his guess, his quest, his ultimate goal. Jinder Mahal comes in with Sunil Singh. Jinder thought coming to Raw would be a good move for his career. He asked why he's not in the triple threat when Reigns is. Reigns continues to get chances, but Jinder gets none. Angle says Jinder hasn't won since coming to Raw and doesn't deserve anything. I wish that was the case, but WWE doesn't see it that way. Once again, Angle informs Jinder he has to wrestle Chad Gable tonight, like we saw last week. Real superstar shakeup there, don't you think? Either way, he has to wrestle Chad Gable tonight, and if he puts on a good show, Angle might consider Money in the Bank. So, Jinder Mahal, I don't know why, played an unfortunate or a heavy role in this show here tonight, and that made this show a little bit worse. A little bit worse, and I mean, Monday Night Raw, I mean, what can you say? Monday Night Raw is a little bit worse every week, but that is besides the point. We move on here to No Way Jose and Titus Worldwide versus Baron Corbin and the Revival. Who cares about this matchup? This is lower mid-card rubbish, and that's exactly what it proved to be here tonight. I mean, what did we say about No Way Jose? We said that within a month, this guy would be a complete waste on Monday Night Raw. He took his first pinfall here tonight at the hands of Baron Corbin. So, I mean, realistically, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? I mean, they're utilizing him. There's that, but who cares? Who cares? This guy is a complete failure. He's hanging with Titus Worldwide. That's how you know that you've really struck it big in the WWE. Holy crap. A man who is known for falling under the ring at the Greatest Royal Rumble. You gotta be kidding me with that garbage. Anyways, we go into an actual matchup here tonight on Monday Night Raw, which at this point was the best matchup on the show. It was the Money in the Bank qualifying triple threat. Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott versus Ember Moon. Unfortunately, the crowd didn't really react as well as they should have for this matchup. They were more focused on a fan who apparently got ejected during the show. I don't know why. I mean, you guys can go into more research on that on your own. I really don't know. I was, confused. They were saying some crap. They were saying, you deserve it. And it was just a crazy situation. They were more focused on that. Everybody was chanting yes. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott versus Ember Moon. I mean, these women were doing some good stuff in the middle of that ring. And I especially loved the ending of this matchup. You had Sasha Banks about to lock Ruby Riott in to the bank statement. And Bayley had to come out here as well during this matchup. Because the Riot Squad, of course, was allowed ringside, no disqualification, so they were intervening in this matchup a hell of a lot. So Bayley actually came out and helped Sasha Banks. I have no idea what the hell the situation between Bayley and Sasha Banks is. One week Bayley will help Banks, the next week they're fighting each other. I have no idea what the situation is. It seems like this feud was ready to boil over before WrestleMania when they had that brawl in the locker room. Then now, once again, they're helping each other. I don't get it. WWE has postponed and prolonged this feud, and where's it going here? Where's it going? Because you want to instill it in every Sasha Banks matchup or Bayley matchup. You want to instill some semblance of this feud, yet it doesn't seem to fit because it's been weeks of tension, or I guess reverse tension. I have no idea. It's been weeks of just back and forth, and we've seen this culminate into nothing. So I have no idea what the situation is here, but Sasha Banks, Ruby Riott, and Ember Moon. The winner of this matchup was Ember Moon. Of course, like I was stating, Sasha Banks was about to lock in the bank statement on Ruby Riott, and Ember Moon out of nowhere hits an eclipse. That was great, and of course, due to the whiplash of Ruby Riott taking that eclipse as Sasha Banks was behind her, about to lock in the bank statement, Sasha Banks rolled over outside of the ring, and Ember Moon was able to pin Ruby Riott here tonight. Ruby Riott, don't sleep on Riott, especially since coming to Monday Night Raw. They've given her an opportunity to wrestle in more singles matches. They've realized that, Ruby Riott's the star here. Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan are pretty much useless, and Ruby Riott has really shined. Matchup with Sasha Banks last week was great stuff. Ruby's best work since coming up to the main roster from NXT. Ruby's great. Ruby's really, really great. And she's not just in the ring. She's a good promo as well. So Ruby Riott, don't sleep on her. She's very, very good. But the fact that she stuck with the Riott Squad, that is where things go thumbs down for her. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan are definitely bringing down Ruby Riott. Either way, continuing on here, back from the break, Charlie Caruso is backstage with Ember Moon. And Ember Moon, that's one thing that she needs to work on. And that really will not fly as long as she's on the main roster. Backstage interview, and Ember Moon came across as absolutely overly scripted. And NXT, what I saw is that she would over-deliver and oversell on her lines. She's doing the same thing here. The same thing here. Even in NXT, she wasn't that good on the microphone. And it carries over to the main roster. And that might be the downfall of Ember Moon. I don't know. But she was asked about what some are saying was an underdog victory. And I believe Charlie Caruso botched it and said under God victory. I don't know. Either way, Moon talks about how people have called her an underdog and put limits on her. But she will always succeed. Moon says she proved that she has skill, heart, and honor. She goes on and says this is just the beginning. But she will rise to take the Money in the Bank contract. So there you go with that. I mean, a lot of people are predicting that Ember Moon is going to be the winner of the Women's Money in the Bank contract. And I would absolutely love to see that. I mean, I'm praying, I'm begging for somebody to take the title off of Nia Jax. She's absolutely useless. And that matchup with the Alexa Bliss that we saw last night at Backlash was an absolute proof of that. So, Ember Moon winning the Money in the Bank, I would not be against that in the slightest fashion. I mean, that means Asuka, she's probably going to have the SmackDown Women's Championship by the time Survivor Series comes. And Ember Moon could be Raw Women's Champion. Could that mean the champion versus champion match is Ember Moon versus Asuka? Could we relive that amazing, fantastic, wonderful matchup from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn? I mean, holy crap, that would be absolutely fantastic. That's something I would love to see. That would be a moment right there. And maybe that could serve for Asuka's next defeat, but I would actually be okay with that one. But that is besides the point. Ember Moon qualifies for the Money in the Bank. If Asuka isn't the one to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I would be absolutely down with as well, I'd choose Ember Moon. But I don't know. The announcers, you want to talk about what the worst part of the show was here tonight? Oh my god, hopefully the WWE has the clip for this. This was some of the cringiest shit I think I have ever seen on WWE television. Bobby Lashley. They want to, I don't know if this is going to continue over the next couple weeks, but Bobby Lashley, they want you to know more about Bobby Lashley, and I thought that was a solid idea. Yes, we do need to know more about Bobby Lashley. This guy is so plain. This guy is so vanilla. And my point was exactly proven here tonight. This was ridiculous and quite frankly hilarious. I have no words. And this is playing by accident here. But of course I am going to play this for you guys right here. Monday Night Raw, Bobby Lashley on growing up with 3 older sisters. We now know more about Bobby Lashley's sisters than we know about Bobby Lashley himself. Here's the segment.
We all know about Bobby Lashley, the WWE superstar. But what about Bobby Lashley, the man? Who is Bobby Lashley?
Well, first of all, I gotta say that I'm extremely blessed. You know, unlike so many other unfortunate people, I had a great family. And that's pretty much all I'm about. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my 3 older sisters.
Your sisters, you close with them?
We are. When I was younger, I really didn't think we were. I thought that they were really rude and mean and nasty to me. My sisters used to take me out to the woods and they used to tie me up there and they used to leave me there for hours. They thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Being the younger brother, getting bullied by his older sisters. Especially my older sister, Kathy. Kathy would actually chase me around with a broom. I don't know what it was. Maybe that was her weapon of choice or whatever.
Really?
She used to always carry this broom with her. I didn't know if she liked sweeping or whatever.
You don't say!
So I had a little joke that I played on her, and I said, you know, you should just hop on that broom and kind of take off. And that just
interesting.
really fueled her, and she chased me all around and tried to kill me with it. Then there was my next sister, Jessica.
Ooh, Jessica.
You know how some people say they have a security blanket? Well, my sister Jessica had a security towel. She got it from my grandmother, so it was really special to her. But over time, this white towel got a little more dingy and dirty, to the point where this towel was nasty and it stunk. Ooh. And I remember one day she took that towel and she went to school with it. And of course, a local boy saw her and took the towel from her. That's where little brother Bobby stepped in.
Of course, they got to include the bullying in there.
And I took that towel from that bully and I shoved it down his throat. I bet that towel was really tasty, Tim. But then lastly, there was my last sister, Frances. Frances was the youngest.
Oh, Frances.
She was the closest to my age. And of course, being the youngest girl, she was Daddy's little girl. My dad was in the Army. My sister used to always carry his helmet with her. She took it to school. She took it to church. She took it everywhere she went. So, of course, playing pranks, I decided to take the helmet from her and hide it in her bedroom. You see this scar right here, Renee? This scar will always remind me not to mess with Frances.
Well, it sounds like you've had and still have a pretty colorful life.
Yes, I have, and yes, I do. And I enjoyed every second of it. But now I have an extended family called the WWE Universe.
Oh, my God.
A lot of fun together.
Bobby, thank you so much for sitting down here with me. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
1 second. Before we leave, if you don't mind if I do one thing.
Sure.
I just want to say hello to my sisters. Kathy, Jessica, Frances. I love you.
Bobby, thank you again.
That might have been one of the most cringeworthy segments I've ever seen and heard. Holy crap. I mean, it sounds like he's reading an audiobook, bro. He sounds like one of those calm, relaxing audiobook voices. I mean, this is Bobby Lashley. Look at the physique of this man. WWE wants to build him as this soft-spoken, family-loving guy. I mean, this is ridiculous, bro. That was disgusting. We know more about Frances, Jessica, and Louise, or whatever the hell the third one was, and we know more about them than Bobby Lashley himself. What's next? Next week we're going to learn about Bobby Lashley's Uncle Sal? Are we going to learn about Auntie Francine? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? You call this intriguing television? Bobby Lashley should have stopped. Well, I had a lot of memories with my sisters, and it was great growing up with them. All right, Bobby. Was it hard growing up? Was anything hard growing up? Did you have any difficulties growing up? Well, you know, Renee, it was difficult growing up in a world where people of my color don't have the same responsibility. But that's the thing. I overcame. I built up. I continued to fight, and that's where I am that's why I am where I am here today, Renee. I fought to be here in the WWE. This is the biggest sports company in the world, or sports entertainment or wrestling company in the world, and I'm glad to be here. And listen, Renee, I'm gonna bring the competition to whoever the hell's in that locker room. You want to know about me? You want to know about Bobby Lashley? What drives Bobby Lashley is competition. And competition is what I know I'll get in the WWE. And that's why I came back. Because the competition out there is bigger than it's ever been before. Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Elias, Bobby Roode. Those are all names, Renee, that I want to get in there with. That I want to tangle up with. That I know that I can beat. And then one day I want to step in the ring with Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns couldn't get the job done. Roman Reigns couldn't win the Universal Championship. But let me tell you, Renee, I'm gonna be the one to get the job done, because the difficulties that I had growing up, that's what drives me. Knowing that I was able to get to this point isn't enough, because I need to get to the top. And that, Renee, is when I'll know that I have truly accomplished what I've always wanted to accomplish. That is when I know that I have the competition in front of me that I've always wanted to have. I mean, why not something like that? No, my sister Francine, I mean, she used to chase me around with a broom. Ho, 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 ho. I mean, who's supposed to get a kick out of this? Why would you air this? Why would you air this? And I know I kind of rambled on with whatever promo I was cutting there, but no, he's this soft-spoken guy, and he loves his sisters, and I just want to tell my sisters one more thing: I love you. What is this crap, bro? I despise this. I despise it, bro. Bobby Lashley, I called him a charisma vacuum before. Bobby Lashley, I called him Bobby Trashley before. I've called him absolutely one of the most worthless signings in WWE before. I certainly have reason, much more reason, to believe that now. Holy crap. Anyways, continuing on here, oh my god, that was disgusting. That was disgusting. Just watching that segment, I wanted to throw myself off a bridge. I really, really did. Oh my lord. Anyways, moving on from that, from Bobby Trashley, Sami Zayn was backstage with Kevin Owens, and Sami feels like a cloud of conspiracy is following him, or them, wherever they go. Owens says he just went through Armageddon with Braun, while Sami is getting ready for an easy time with Reigns and Balor. Sami warns Owens to not let them try and turn he and Sami against each other. Owens brings up what happened at Backlash. Sami says they need to secure power, and there's no better way to do that than to win the WWE Universal title, and they have to win Money in the Bank first. Sami apologizes for Backlash and says they will both be sorry if neither of them win Money in the Bank. Sami needs to know if Owens is with him tonight for the triple threat, and Owens says he is. So you have a variety of options for what you can do with these guys going into Money in the Bank. Clearly they didn't qualify for the Money in the Bank matchup itself, and I think these next 6 weeks is the perfect opportunity if WWE wants to go ahead and do so. I actually thought Extreme Rules was the next pay-per-view after this one. No, it's Money in the Bank, and since you're building this up as a Big Five, be a great opportunity to put Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a singles matchup. I mean, you have a lot of the roster in that Money in the Bank ladder matchup. You're going to have a lot of the women's superstars and the men's superstars in these Money in the Bank ladder matchups. Makes a perfect opportunity to create a great undercard, and there's no better undercard than having Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens competing on your show. I absolutely enjoy the thought of that. I really, really do. Either way, we move on to Jinder Mahal versus Chad Gable. Been here, done this. I mean, Chad Gable's just so fantastic as a professional wrestler. He's so silky and smooth and everything he does in the middle of that ring, but he's in there with Jinder Mahal. You mean to tell me you're bringing Chad Gable to Monday Night Raw, brand that has Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Zack Ryder, all this in-ring talent, right? That Chad Gable could be putting on some good matches with. Elias, another one. Bobby Roode, another one. I mean, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, all these guys. And you mean to tell me you're tangoing him up with Jinder Mahal, and Jinder Mahal got the win here tonight? 50-50 booking at its best, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap. Either way here. After the match, Jinder stood tall over Gable, and it was Gable who got upset about this, and he pushes Sunil Singh to the side, and Jinder Mahal delivered a post-match attack either way. So, are we going to see this matchup for a third time on Monday Night Raw? Is that going to be the case next week? No, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case next week, because in the main event of this show, Jinder Mahal made his name known, and if you didn't watch the show to know what happened, you're going to have to keep watching. You're going to have to keep watching. We saw a glimpse of Alexa Bliss here, and I actually think that Alexa, I'm not sure if she was talking about Money in the Bank here. I think that she wants to continue this feud with Nia Jax. This is absolutely ridiculous. If this feud continues, oh my god, that might be the biggest waste of time ever. Hopefully that is not the case. I beg that this is not the case, but WWE is probably going to beg to differ. I wasn't paying too much attention to the promo, but I think that's actually what she said, that she was still going around calling Nia Jax a bully. Now, Alexa Bliss, her role should be qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match. No reason to have another Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss matchup whatsoever. Either way, back from the break, it's Zack Ryder who walks into Kurt Angle's office. Ryder wants to qualify for Money in the Bank in his hometown. Angle says he's a big fan of Ryder, but Jinder Mahal and Sunil Sin walk in, asking if Angle saw what he just did to Gable. Jinder wants to be put in the main event to make it a fatal four-way. Ryder ends up mocking Jinder and telling him the answer is no. That's what Kurt Angle does. And Jinder and Singh storm off as Ryder and Angle laugh. I mean, why would Jinder, what's even the logic about being put in a qualifying matchup here tonight if you even competed just moments prior against Chad Gable? What was the logic behind that on Jinder's part? He should be asking for a qualifying match next week against whoever it may be, because after tonight, there's still 2 more spots left. So I don't understand the logic behind that. And Jinder Mahal, of course, did not get inserted into that matchup. So that's that. But Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler versus Rhino and Heath Slater. There's one thing that this matchup showed, and it is that these guys are goddamn legitimate. I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it to the core, bro. I didn't see it at first, but these guys should be instant tag team champions. I mean, they are probably the best part of this entire division, if that's exactly what they are, which tonight I think confirmed that they are a part of this tag team division. There are only 2 legitimate teams on this tag team division right now, and it's your tag team champions and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. And if you compare your tag team champions to Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, I don't think they even stand a chance. You got to start building teams up on Monday Night Raw. You really, really do. Breezango, dead. Who else is even on Monday Night Raw? The Revival, dead. Tonight we saw Dallas and Axel, dead. I mean, you need some teams. Titus Worldwide, dead. But Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, there's definitely an injection of life in this tag team division. I absolutely love that. And the tag team division is that's why I'm proposing that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go into the tag team division. But WWE seems to want to break them up. And I even talked about this, granted minimally, on the Backlash review. But it just makes no sense to me that you're trying to break these guys up when these are 2 stable acts, singles acts, and they can still be singles acts. But it wouldn't hurt the tag team division by any means to include Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, at least for a month or 2, fighting for those tag team titles, maybe even as a stall. I mean, come on. This tag team division is worthless. It's worthless. But Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, they are the one thing that is not. This is absolutely fantastic. And granted, it should be limited. Hopefully it is. But, I mean, for the time being, it's going to be an injection of life. It's going to be an injection of life in that tag team division, and no doubt about it, I like it. For now, we move on here to whatever the next segment was. Elias, he was backstage, and he would be here to perform and wrestle against Bobby Roode here tonight. We go to commercial, and back from the break, JoJo introduces Elias. He pretty much does the same thing that he always does, Rusev Day chants, of course, and during his segment, but Elias says that Rusev Day has nothing on him. Either way, we got the matchup for the 3rd goddamn time with Bobby Roode. It was Elias versus Bobby Roode once again here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Color me pink if we haven't seen this one before. Nah, this is the first time? Really? No, not really. But it was Elias versus Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode gets his win here tonight. Bobby Roode as a babyface is absolutely disgusting. This is disgusting by all intents and purposes. Turn this guy heel. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Elias, I feel like he's lost momentum working with Bobby Roode. I don't know. This guy sucks. This guy sucks in his current iteration. Instead of prancing around saying that this is absolutely glorious, he should realistically be making fun of Bobby Lashley and his miserable talk about his sisters. I don't know what Bobby Roode should be doing. He should be back in his heyday making fun of Roderick Strong. This is what a real man looks like. Bringing tissues out to the ring. But whatever. This is what they decide to go with. This is disgusting. Whatever. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, but that is besides the point. Seth Rollins is out here, and Seth Rollins is the only thing going on Monday Night Raw right now, which is absolutely consistent. This guy is fantastic in every single little thing that he does, and tonight he issued an open challenge on Monday Night Raw. That's something we haven't seen in a while. And, I mean, I love myself an open challenge, but WWE, whenever they present an open challenge on Monday Night Raw, they just have to throw, like, the most underwhelming name out of anybody that you can possibly ever throw out there. And tonight, they threw out Mojo Rawley. How many open challenges has Mojo Rawley responded to? I mean, one that just comes into mind on recent memory is when he accepted the one against Bobby Roode in the Royal Rumble pre-show. I mean, how many times can this guy accept an open challenge? I'm absolutely sick and tired of it. Either way, Seth Rollins did cut a little pre-match promo. He was talking about how The Miz brought him to his limit last night at the Backlash pay-per-view. But if there's something that you can learn from The Miz, it's what type of champion not to be. And this is exactly what he said about Brock Lesnar last week. But he was talking about how The Miz is the champion that you do not want to be, because he's not a fighting champion. Miz can say all he wants that he's a fighting champion, but that's the absolute opposite of what he is. And he's making the Intercontinental Championship the title on Monday Night Raw. So Rollins issues an open challenge, and out comes Mojo Rawley. Mojo says this is the Raw debut that he deserves, because when opportunity comes knocking, Mojo Rawley knocks people down, and that's exactly what he's about to do to Seth. Fans chant, "We want Ryder" for the hometown star. Of course, Ryder is from Long Island. Mojo says he's going to knock Rollins down, just like he did their boy Zack Ryder. Mojo says he's going to take the title from Rollins' hands, qualify for Money in the Bank, and then win the contract. Mojo says no longer is this Monday Night Rollins. This is now Monday Night Rawley. So it's Mojo Rawley versus Seth Rollins, and what can I tell you about this matchup? It was a decent matchup, probably one of the best matchups that Mojo Rawley's had, but then again, that's not saying much. Mojo Rawley hasn't had many great matches. Seth Rollins is just on a roll, if I can speak here. But Seth Rollins, everything he does, he's just on a roll. I mean, great match with The Miz last night. Probably the match of the year on the main roster so far, which is ridiculous to say, but probably the match of the year on the main roster so far. Seth Rollins versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at Backlash. He had the great matchup with Finn Balor in the main event of Raw last week. He had a great Intercontinental Championship ladder match at the Greatest Royal Rumble, which wasn't entirely him because there were 4 guys in that matchup, but he definitely played part in that, and his title win itself was great. Here tonight he was against Mojo Rawley, so there wasn't much he can do. I don't think there's much anybody can do in the ring with Mojo Rawley, but Seth Rollins, he's just a ball of fire right now. He's doing absolutely fantastic, and WWE, as long as you keep the title on him, there's no going down. There's no going down. He's the best in-ring competitor on Monday Night Raw right now, and Seth Rollins, he's not slowing down anytime soon. That's what I can tell you about that. Seth Rollins, great stuff here tonight on Monday Night Raw. But we continue on here. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the leader of worlds, against Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, pass the tag team champions win. And, of course, we go on to the main event. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything here, but we go on to the main event of Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, or Sami Zayn. Why do I keep saying Seth Rollins? Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, and Roman Reigns here tonight on Monday Night Raw. And it was a good main event. It was a very good main event. In the beginning, and the crowd, that's one thing. The crowd responded to this matchup when Roman Reigns was in that ring, teeing off on Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. Everybody was booing, and the yes chant that started when Sami Zayn and Finn Balor teamed up on Roman Reigns. That was crazy how big that yes chant was throughout the whole arena. I don't think one person in that arena was not doing a yes chant, which is crazy. And, I mean, Daniel Bryan wasn't in the middle of the ring, so that's definitely crazy. But that is besides the point. This was a very good matchup, and a lot of the reason it was a good matchup is because they kept Roman Reigns out of the ring for the most part. They went into the crowd, did Sami Zayn and Finn Balor with Roman Reigns, and Sami Zayn hit a haluva kick that sent Roman over a barricade, I guess you can say, into the tech area, and Finn Balor from that very barricade hit a coup de grace, and that eliminated Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns then came back, a big clothesline off a barricade, this time at ringside, but he immediately got sent into a steel step outside. So, for the most part, it was just Sami Zayn and Finn Balor, which clearly you put Sami Zayn and Finn Balor in the ring, and the result isn't going to be something negative, and that's exactly the opposite of what it was. They were putting on a clinic. But what pissed me off about this matchup was the ending. I mean, thank God Roman Reigns didn't win, because the big nightmare was that Roman Reigns was going to go ahead and win the Money in the Bank ladder match. He's going to qualify here tonight. This was the big prediction. And he's going to go ahead and win the Money in the Bank ladder matchup and beat Brock Lesnar that way, because he was screwed out of the title, so he'll screw Brock Lesnar himself, just in a different fashion, which would have been absolutely toxic. That is a nightmare. And I just hate watching Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring. For one, he's so formulaic. I mean, Superman punch. How many in the span of a minute, how many Superman punches did he hit on Finn Balor? Ridiculous stuff. That's one. And two, it's like everybody's booing you, and you're ignoring what's going on. And like everybody's booing this guy. Everybody's chanting yes when Finn Balor and Sami Zayn team up on him, and he's supposed to be this big babyface, and the commentators just ignore it. I despise that. Like, how can you ignore that? It's overtaking your television screen, yet the commentators and Roman Reigns himself is ignoring this reaction. It makes no sense. It does not do for good television. And the third thing I did not like here about this particular match was the ending. Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. You're literally going to go into this feud. This is how hard you are going to try to get Roman Reigns over, that you're going to put Jinder Mahal in the middle of that ring in attempts to get Roman Reigns heel heat, or a babyface reaction, because Jinder Mahal has that much heel heat. If anything, what this is going to have is you're just going to have a chorus of boos, because Jinder's going to get booed and Roman's going to get booed. So realistically, what are you doing? And it's going to result in an awful matchup. If Joe and Reigns couldn't put on a good matchup, then what do you think is going to happen with Jinder and Reigns? I'm just glad Finn Balor won here. But even the way they did it, even that was like kind of messed up. Because like Jinder, they showed Jinder and he kind of pulled on Reigns' leg and he just fell. Like, you should have really had somebody just pull on Reigns' leg. Reigns falls. Zayn hits the haluva kick. You don't see who it is. Bad camera work in every dimension. But anyways, Sami Zayn, or Finn Balor wins the matchup here. But Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. Are you kidding me? Does anybody have interest in that feud? I know I don't. That is awful. But that was the main event here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Great main event, I'd say, as far as in-ring competition goes. But bullshit. You mean to tell me we go from one nightmare to the other? One is Roman Reigns winning the Money in the Bank to Jinder Mahal and Roman Reigns? Oh my God. Put me to sleep now. Please. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all on Monday Night Raw review here tonight. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel if you enjoyed what you heard here. Because for now, this is going to be all. This has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. Because for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time right here on your Monday Night Raw review and on Ringside Wrestling Entertainment.